So Mr. O'Gorman will give all the visitors a nice tour, show you how we're updating the museum and what our future personnel for the briefing with General Thompson. Could please move into Little John.
Just a short ways away, there was sun. And I know about that.
I'm anxious to see what they are.
The crowd, if we can see, it's a large crowd of people. There's the dignitaries there. Right there's J.B. Hanson and another illuminary.
I'm the director here at the Quartermaster Museum. I need to tell you that donations are not a big deal for museums. We get donations about every day. However, it's very seldom that we get a donation of such significance that warrants an occasion such as this. I want to especially acknowledge in our audience today Mr. J.B. Hudson, the Administrative Assistant to the Secretary of the Army, down in the Department of the Army. Mr. Bill Leftwich, the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for EO. Major General John Lemoyne, who's the Assistant Deputy Chief of Staff for Personnel, have joined us today from the Department of the Army.
Properly honor Private Watson's contribution. His contribution is a lot different. You know, anybody who talks about a Medal of Honor, that, you know, General Patton said, you know, he'd give up a star if he could have gotten a Medal of Honor. But his Medal of Honor was unique because most of the time people win that award because they're killing other people. Sometimes, you know, obviously necessary. You know. But this man got his for saving people and for helping people. And that was just, you know, it just impressed me no end. Now, what I was told to do was to introduce the artist. This is Schofield, and he's from New Zealand. We're not going to hold that against him. And what I was impressed by is he got enthused about this and about what he was being asked to do and how he was being asked to do it. And he did a lot of his own research, a lot of his own work, and I think it adds very much to the character, you know, of this very, very wonderful painting. Mr. Schofield.
Thank you. Distinguished guests, I'm honored and very pleased to see that my painting will reside here in this fine museum, where it will help to inspire stories about the past that tell us who we are in the present. Private George Watson was serving with the 29th Quartermaster Regiment as it interlaced the vast Pacific with supply lines essential for the struggles of the Second World War. He was himself following an ancient tradition as old as Earth history. In ancient times, the leader who could assemble, organize, and feed an army of great size was usually victorious. To sustain and feed an army of twice the size of your enemy in the field was as important as any battle tactic. If we were standing here watching Xerxes, his army march with their baggage trains, wagons, support, and entertainers on their way to invade Greece in 480 BC, we would be standing here for 3 days. So even our understanding of military strategy is clouded unless we consider supply. To have your supply cut may mean annihilation. So a maneuver to cut supply can even force a disadvantaged enemy to fight you on your own terms. It may not sound as dramatic as Jackson falling on the left wing of the Union flank at Chancellorsville, but it is as powerful. Napoleon did exactly that to the Austrians. And have you ever wondered why Patton had this great thirst for fuel on his dramatic sweep through Germany? His supply through the invasion beachheads of Normandy had balanced ammunition and supply, ammunition and fuel for what was the expectation of need. But the great victory, as unexpected as it was at Falaise, meant he didn't need the ammo, he needed the fuel. And this brings us to the 8th of March, 1943. Private Watson was on that steamer a fateful year later as the bombs fell, ripping open her deck. You can still see her today lying remarkably intact, her rudder still turned hard to starboard in 120 feet below the surface, near Porlock Harbour, New Guinea. Below the murky water and resident grey reef sharks, you can make out the black and white coral trees intertwined with her 2-pounder stern guns. What depths and caliber is also contained within the human spirit. For Private Watson, without regard for his own safety, spent the last precious moments of his own life assisting those who could not swim, helping to safety those to makeshift rafts, and assuring others in the chaos. Without a life jacket himself, he was a life jacket to others, but could not save himself, as built before the Titanic drew him down towards the same grave. In the painting itself, I've tried to show the intensity of moments of which we can only hear stories, in such a way that his eyes will search and follow you. I believe this illustrates a self-sacrifice that transcends all endeavors and is painted in human compassion. Thank you.
Gary Schofield, having seen some of his work, and I can tell you that he was enthusiastic from the first day. Took that into a great deal of research. It is indeed an honor and a privilege to present to the Quartermaster Museum this painting to show the heroics of Private Watson. As when we were being taken through the exhibit, it has been relayed to me, this is the home of Private Watson now. It's the home of his medal, it's the home of his deed, it's the home of this painting. So John Thompson, thank you. On behalf of Paul John.
Illuminates the story of Private Watson in the sense that we use it in our values training. Here we have about a vignette for each day, but of the 7 Army values, this particular one represents selfless service, courage, essentially honor, putting yourself ahead of any of the other of anything to save another soldier or sailor's life. That's what this painting will illuminate for all the thousands of soldiers that come through here on a weekly basis. We teach the values here at the museum since this is the most valuable place to post. This is where the collections are kept, and it's where the Army keeps its values, basically, its heritage and history. And I hope that helps out a little bit.
Thank you very much.
This will make it come alive. It definitely does.